Okay, just going over how you're going to go ahead and make your monochromatic paintings. I just want to give you a little overview on an easy way to go ahead and mark where the value changes are. Remember, you get to pick whatever the subject matter is for this painting. So ideas could be landscape, pets, celebrities, architecture, family members, exotic animals, or even a portrait of yourself. Now, an easy way to go about doing that, if I scroll down here to the 3 to 4 thumbnail sketches, so this would be step one. You're going to go ahead and choose what the subject matter is. Now, I want you to consider other subject matters. So you will see reference photos and thumbnail sketches. I do have a template on here for you. So 3 reference photos could be your pet, it could be your grandma, it could be your favorite celebrity. You're just going to find 3 photos that you think would be good to create a monochromatic painting with. In the monochromatic color schemes, this is where you're going to highlight your square and then choose your paint bucket to pick a general hue. Maybe, I don't know, I might just grab the purple one here. And from there, you're going to create a minimum of 7 tints and shades of this purple. So if I go back over to my paint bucket here, there are other tints and shades as you scroll down in this purple column here, but you could also go under custom and create custom colors, just moving the pointer around. So maybe we want to go something like go back into the purpley area here. And you can also just drag the slider over to a color that interests you and choose different tints and shades. And this is just to kind of get some ideas in place. So you can go ahead and hit OK. You continue filling this in, minimum of 7, but you can go more tints and shades with your design, depending on what the subject matter is. Then on the second page, I do want you, once you have your posterized image, you are going to add that in nice and big on the page. So talking about how to get the values and where the values are going to change on your image. What I use, let me go back so you can find the link, is a photo editor called iPicky. Now I already have that up right over here. And you may have an app on your phone that does a similar thing. I like this because you do get more controls. It's similar to Photoshop, but not as extreme as Photoshop yet. So this is iPicky. It is a free photo editing program that you can use right off from your Chromebook. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture. I'm just going to go to open my computer. And I'm just going to grab this picture here and open it up. So that's going to bring your color picture into the program. Step 1, we do want to make this a black and white or grayscale image. So we're just going to go over here to some of the tools that you can use. Now for this project, you do want to crop your image down even further than what's showing up here. So I'm just going to click on crop picture. And I'm going to go ahead and drag these sliders out, making sure I've got everything of my subject matter. And I don't really want anything extra in the background, so I'm just dragging the sliders up and around. Now here I'm cutting off the top part of the ear. I'm going to drag that and extend it up. Down here, I could bring this up just a little bit further. It looks pretty good. Once you have your cropping restraints on it, you can go ahead and hit apply, and it takes out the extra parts of the image. Now we're going to go in and we are going to turn this into a black and white or a grayscale image. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the black and white and hit apply once you have it the way you like it. There we go. Okay, so that would be step 1, turning it into a black and white image. And again, this could be done with a family member, a celebrity, different architecture, a place that you would want to visit in the future. Subject matter is completely up to you. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. I'm still in the filter category here. I'm just going to scroll on down. And I'm looking for posterize my image. So I'm going to click on that filter. Now that doesn't look too good yet, but I did say that you get a lot more controls using this type of program. So in here, you can choose the number of colors that you want represented, how much detail, and if you wanted a fade added into it. So I do suggest playing around with the sliders and kind of checking it out. Now I did say minimum of 7 colors or 7 different values. So I'm going to put this slider down. And detail, I feel like I'm going to bump that up because I'm losing some of the detail around the eyes where it was set before. So I want to just brighten that and get a little bit more detail into it. That looks pretty good. I'm seeing the highlight is brought back into the eye on the left and on the right. I'm able to pick up the movement in the ear on the left, the little whiskers. So everything looks pretty good over here for me. If you wanted to play around with the fade, it just fades it from the original image back down into the posterized image. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. Okay, now it's got it locked in place. And then here I want to go ahead and save my new image. I'm just going to save this to my computer. I think I'm going to go with high quality and saving it to the computer. And I'm just going to choose desktop here. Save. Actually, I'm going to call it Gypsy 1. I have my original version and then I have my posterized version. And then here I can go ahead and say close photo because I'm done with the editing process on that. Now I could take my posterized image and I'm just going to scroll down. So this is back on my thumbnail sketches and reference photos. And I'm going to go ahead and insert it, grab my image, upload it from the computer, grab the file and bring it right in. Now for my design, I need this bigger. So I'm just going to resize that out. So it fills the whole page without really messing with the proportions too much. For the purposes of demo, I'm just going to grab and drag it out. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. So that would be the image that I'm working on to paint from. Now, if I go back out, I'm going to keep this up for you, but if I go back out here, examples of the posterized image, this is the one of Drake. So you can see the color scheme to the right-hand side, and this is only 5 steps of tints and shades, but they do represent areas on the photograph. So this very light tint right here would represent value 1 on the portrait right here. So it's up through the cheekbones, the nose, the bridge of the nose, and up to the forehead. Step 2 is kind of around the eye sockets, a little bit into the ears and down onto the chin. Step 3 represents a little bit closer into the beard area. 4 up here into the hairline and a little bit into the ear. And then step 5 would be the darkest values. And that would be up here in the hair and in the shirt. So that's what we're going to be working from. Each one of the steps or the tints and shades that you choose represents a different part of the portrait. And so that is an easy way to create a monochromatic painting. Here's another example. This one has the 5 steps represented in the mountains and in the landscape. Examples of your thumbnail sketches could be trying out different color palettes to create a specific mood or feeling. Now the one to the left is done monochromatic. The one to the right is a duotone. And then just playing around with sketching positions and interesting things that could show up in your sketch. For a self-portrait, It does work really nice if you can position yourself near natural lighting or having a light source coming from one side of your face. Just makes things a little bit more interesting and extreme. But you could definitely consider doing a self-portrait for this assignment too. So the link for iPicky is right over here. If I scroll back up to the bigger assignment, lots of different ideas on here. And if you are interested, a closer version or closer to version of Photoshop, which is still free, is Photopia. I'm not going to open that up, but if you've had Photoshop in the past, you will recognize a lot of the tools inside it. All right, this is where we're going to stop for today, but just make sure that you are creating a minimum of 7 values within your posterized picture.